Perfection versus pursuit of excellence. As business leaders, perfection is kind of one of these things that we can often get trapped in, but pursuit of excellence is something that you can get everybody in your organization on board with. Today, business coach Linda Krei shares with us a lot around people and processes and how we can strive collectively for that pursuit of excellence. Why business coaching for you?
That is a really great question, Michelle. And the way I would answer it is I feel that it's almost a calling at this season of my life. My passion is to really get the next generation of leaders next ready for whatever that is, because I do believe there's a need for that out there in our world. And so at this season of my life, that's where I'm at. I do believe that people often underestimate themselves and they just need somebody to build them up, lift them up, hold space for them, encourage them, validate them, you name it. And intrinsically, that fills my bucket. So that really is a part of, why coaching for me is why not? It really is more about investing in others and then the gift that one receives when you do that.
And why is it important that business leaders do have somebody that can help build them up, that's in their corner, hold space for them?
It's extremely important. And I would say just from experiencing it myself, somebody poured into me. Somebody saw something in me that I didn't see that was worth developing. It's kind of that diamond in the rough, if you will. And I do believe that when you have someone that can objectively be in that space with you, somebody other than the person who signs your paycheck. I mean, there is an important relationship there. I do get that. Yet for one to really explore the possibilities and go to that deep, authentic level of discovering possibility and asking questions and not be threatened by at some level, you remove the fear from the beginning and you make it safe. And that investment is worth investing in oneself and playing it forward. Because when you do experience it then, right, it's one of those things where you're more likely to want to play it forward. So it does build from generation to generation. And to me, that's about legacy living. That's what we should be doing, leaving the world in a better place, right?
So for business leaders listening, there probably is somebody that they have had throughout their career who has poured into them and invested them to help them and give them that leg up. But there's always that next level, isn't there? So from your experience in working with so many business leaders over the years that you've been a coach, what do you find is kind of the key to success?
First, I would start with just the definition and the mindset around what coaching is and what it's not. So we're not trying to fix someone. We're not trying to change someone. They need to discover from within where they want to go and where they want to grow. And I do believe that wisdom comes from within. So simply holding space for that discovery process is really important. And what's the next level? The next level of achievement. Where do they want to grow? Where do they want to explore? I like to use the analogy that often I meet people as subject matter experts of something, right? SMEs. So I just ask them to redefine that a bit and say, well, what if you would become a subject matter explorer, right? An explorer. Where would you like to go? So there's always new places and spaces to explore, and you discover what you may not be interested in, and then you'll discover where you might want to grow. And usually it's some natural talents that people like to hone and sharpen and build upon. And so that's a fun process as well. I do believe that's a lifelong journey and an investment to make along the way. And maybe more than one, right? More than one mentor, coach, accountability coach. There's lots of levels of support and growth and expected outcome.
So when you think about people and processes and many CEOs or business leaders, are wearing so many hats. And, you mentioned 20%, if that's all the part of their role that they love, then that should be enough. But what is a way that business leaders can carve out time to also work on themselves and not just the business when you are wearing so many hats?
It is a protection of time for anything that's important, as important as any other meeting that they protect time for. And oftentimes they don't have it scheduled into their calendars. And so that is part of what I would ask them to do is where is the working on me time? Where is the me management time? Because it's right there in that word. me management. It's in there. So dedicating that in the Midwest, from where I'm at here in the United States, oftentimes there's this idea of I'm the last person to take care of. It's almost like self-care is selfish care, and it's not. It's one of the most important things that need to be done. So even working with that mindset around investment in self and protecting some time for that is an important place to understand, an important place to start. What's their mindset around that? So then protecting that time and including, I'm congruent. I spend time with my master coach as well, making sure that I hold that meeting and protect time. That's as important as any other business deal that we're about to do. And so when I hear people say, well, yeah, that's that soft stuff. And I'm going to say, the soft stuff is the hard stuff, because usually that's the piece that they need to work on. So even change the language around those effective relational skill sets. If there's a block there with the language that they're using because they're discounting it, that changing and shifting that mindset is part of it. And once we do, it unleashes potential and possibility that they hadn't even seen. So they really can achieve more by doing less, because they've now invested in a way to inspire and motivate others. So to me, that's an important step of how do you go about it, protecting some time for that discovery as well.
Who's been a really influential coach or leader for you, mentor for you throughout your career?
Interesting. Yes, I would say her name is Mickey McMillan. She actually is a certified master coach with the International Coaching Federation. She's the one who really ignited my interest and spirit in becoming an executive coach, and then expanding it in other areas with mid-sized and small businesses as well. And it was really about holding space with the theory that the answers come from within when you do that, right? The wisdom comes from within when you hold space. And then when you intentionally surround yourself with the people that you want to become more like, right? So that might mean you have to let go of some relationships of folks that aren't holding you back or not advancing you to become all that you're created to be. And so even just spending time there with her was very, very helpful. And then since then, my goodness, I can list a lot of different individuals for different things, depending on what I want to work on. In business, when you're a firm owner or own your own business, you've got to have a massive marketing machine, right? So what does that look like? Maybe it is developing your leadership executive team. Well, what does that look like? Maybe it is systems. So there's lots of different accountability coaches, if you will. There are industry coaches that I believe have a place as well. And then that will bring you to a certain place. And if you want to excel and become that top box, right? The best of the best, then invest in a coach to take you to that place and find your competitive edge there. So I've added more to what you've asked me, I know, and yet it usually is a person or a life event that will take us there to do that reflective work. And then I would say I've also learned from leaders what not to do. So there are lessons there, right? Instead of getting stuck with, oh, well, I can tell you about a time when. It's like, well, what did I learn from that particular leader? I learned what not to do. And there's a lesson in that as well. And so just reframe one's thinking to not become a victim of something, but rather use it to grow from it.
Michelle Adams, your host here. Hats off to you for committing to your learning by listening to this podcast. And if you'd like some help implementing some of these strategies, then click the link in the description to find your local action coach. They can help you put these strategies into action and take your business and your life to the next level. In the meantime, like and subscribe so that you're the first to get our next episode. We'll see you soon.